Hello everyone. So our next topic is message queues. That is another form of IPC. Before this, we have seen fork system call, then pipes and named pipes. So message queue, it's another form of IPC in which the different processes can communicate among each other. So you can see this provides a reasonable, easy and efficient way of passing data between two unrelated processes. So in the diagram you can see this message queue is basically implemented as a linked list of messages. Either of these processes can read in or write in to this queue, and correspondingly the another process will read in or write in to this queue. So these two processes, they are unrelated and they can work independently of each other. So we will see what are the system calls that are required to implement the message queue. So one is this one, message get is there. This system call is there, which is required to uh, initialize, or which is basically required to associate an identity with the message queue, since there can be many message queues that can be maintained in the system. So kernel needs to keep track of all the queues. So some identity has to be there for each message queue. So that identity or that name is basically created with the help of this message get system call. So it has the arguments as this key argument is there, and this message flags are there. So key basically needs to be generated for the message queue, both on the sender side and the receiver side. And these message flags are basically the permissions that can be associated with the owner, the group and others. And uh, you want to create the new message queue, then this flag has to be used. If the message queue is to be used by the process itself, then this flag has to be used. Now these permissions can be any permissions. For example, like if I am using 644, then 6 will be for owner, that is read and write, and 4 is for only write for group, and the third fourth will be for write for others. Fine. So message get is basically to name the particular message queue, so that kernel can keep track of what message queues are there in the system. Then to send the message to a message queue, once the message queue is generated, then you need to send the message into the message queue. So for that the system call is message send, and for the message send the arguments are these are the arguments which you need to use basically. Fine. So MSQID is the queue identifier that we generated in the previous step. This is the pointer to the message which we want to send. Then this is the size of the message which is there, and the message flags are there. Fine. So then this is the structure of the message that we need to send across. So this basically contains the length of the message which you basically want to send. Then you have named the queue. Basically in the previous steps you have named the queue, you have written on the queue, and you have made the structure of the message. Then on the other side, on the other process, you basically need to receive the messages. So how you can receive is this is the system call that we will use, basically message receive. Now what are the arguments? The message message queue ID, which particular queue you want to read, that is message queue ID. Then the message address of the message that you want to read, then size of the message that will be there, and these are the flags basically. So message receiving will be there on the other side. Along with this, Message get will also be used on the receiver side. Then this control function is there, that is message CTL control, message control uh, system call is there. So with this, you basically, with the help of some control functions, you can use some administrative functions with the message queue. For example, once you have made the message queue, you want that the message queue to be deleted once it is used or once you close the program. So for those kind of purposes, you basically make use of this system call. Now we will see how we can do that in the practical. So now I'm having this terminal opened. Uh, so this is my terminal window. I'm having two terminals opened because on the one terminal, the sending process will write to the message queue, and on the second terminal, the another process will read from the message queue. So uh, let us see the programs. We have these two programs there, message receive.c and message send.c. Now these two programs will be there. On one terminal this will be running, and on the another terminal receiving program will be running. And there will be one key file will be there. That this is the key file which will be used to generate the key. The key has to be common between the message sending program and message receiving program. Let us see the contents of these programs. So these are the header files that will be used in the message queue. Now this is the uh, structure of the message that you want to send across. So two arguments are there: the uh, the message that you want to send and the type of the message which will be associated. Then this is the main program is there. Here you are defining the instance of the message, and this is the message ID. Message ID. Then this is the key that we will be generating. Now here in this step we are generating the key, that is key equal to file to key. Now here we can give any random file. I have given key.c. It can be any name, but what it does is file to key, converts file to the key. So it will basically return a key with respect to this file. Fine. If it is not able to generate the key, then the error will be there, which will be indicated by -1. So this is the first step, that is we need to generate the key. Key is generated by using some random file that can have extension .txt or .c extension. And then second step is message get, that is names the queue, what we saw in the slide. It basically generates the identifier of the queue that we are going to use. So arguments are the key which was generated in the previous step, then these are the flags, the permissions associated, and in which mode you are trying to create the queue. Fine. So if it is able to have the ID, then it is fine. Otherwise this error will be there, which will be displayed with the help of p error call basically. Now you have identified the message queue, you have generated the key. The next step is you want to write into the message queue. Now for writing, what we are doing is this message type we are doing it to 1 by default. Then this is we are having the message as an input from the user, that is from the standard input. So we are taking that as an input, and then we are using the message send command, that is writing to the message queue. This is the queue ID that which was generated, then the address of the message, size of the message we need to specify. If it is successful, it writes, otherwise error will be there. And the last step is the control function is there. That is, one this writing function is done and we no longer want to use it, then the message queue gets deleted by the system itself. So this will be deleting the message queue when it is no longer in use, basically. Fine. So this was the message send program, that is with the program which will be writing into the queue. I'm exiting this program, and we'll see the second program is receiving program. Message receiving program is there. So in this, basically the contents, most of the contents will remain same, other than message receive system call will be there. So we'll see the contents. So here the message structure of the message buffer remains same. The key, again here also we will be generating the key from the same file. This key has to be common for both the programs, for the send program also and message receiving program also. Again this identifier needs to be generated. Then here instead of message send, we are using the message receive, basically. Fine. So once the message is received in this message buffer, then you can display the message which you have read, basically, by using this command. Fine. So message receive we are using basically in message receive terminal. So I will try to compile this program, message receive program. Fine. So I'll be running this program RCV. So here it is in running mode, and on the other terminal I'll be running the message send program. So I'll be compiling the message send program. Message send.c. So message ID is 0, enter the text, and this is the demonstration for message queue program. So I am sending this from the message send program. Let us see on the other terminal. So there you can see on the message receiving program, you have received the message which you typed in from the other side. So again, if I am writing here, so on the receiving side, I should be receiving the second message also. So this is the concept behind the usage of message queues. So some standard system calls are there. You can go through the contents. Firstly, basically the key needs to be generated in the first step. Then second is the identifier for the queue that needs to be generated. Then message send has to be done, that is writing, and once the writing is done, you delete the queue. These were the steps for the message sending side, for the message queues. And on the receiving side, same, the key has to be generated, the ID needs to be generated, and third one will be, instead of writing the message, you need to receive the message. That's it. So this is the concept. You can go through the contents. If any doubts are there, you can ask. Thank you.